Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 281 of the RRBG podcast. This episode is also brought to you by Killcliff. My friends over at Killcliff make the best energy drink you can buy in the market today. Clean energy, none of that crap that they put in Monster or any of those Red Bulls. No sugar, just clean power for all the grind you're going to have to put in today. And if you're not grinding today and you just want to relax, they also have CBD drinks to help you recover from any injuries you may have, any kind of inflammation. Maybe you went a little too hard at the gym. CBD drink will get you right back on track. Go to their website, killcliff.com. Check out all their different flavors. My personal favorite Ignite drink is the Cherry Limeade. And in the CBD category, you have to try the Joe Rogan Special. It's the Flaming Joe Pineapple with Jalapeno. It's not that spicy. You just get a little bit of a kick at the end. It's delicious. Go to killcliff.com and tell them that RRBG sent you. This episode is also brought to you by our good friends at Saints Joints. Go to saintsjoints.com to check out all the options that they have. They have these amazing packages with pre-roll joints, which will have pre-rolls from either side of the strain spectrum, either indica or sativa, and they even have multi-strain collections. Pick up one of their amazing Book of Saints. They currently have 2 volumes, volume 2 being a special Halloween edition. It looks like the Necronomicon. It's amazing. They're currently available in Washington and Oregon and will soon be available in California. Go to saintsjoints.com and tell them that RRBG sent you. This episode is also brought to you by our friends at Thunderking Coffee. Thunderking provides organic, air-roasted coffee straight out of Costa Mesa, California. It's seriously some of the best coffee I've ever had. My personal favorite is the Positive Morning Attitude. I order 2 pounds of this almost every 2 weeks because I just can't get enough. But they also have bottled cold brew. They have their special California Christmas peppermint cold brew out right now. You can order it from their website. So go to thunderkingcoffee.com and check it out. Support small, independent businesses, people. What's up, everyone, and welcome to the RRBG podcast. In this episode, I talked to the band Hellgrammites from Denver, Colorado. They have a new album coming out in June called I Am Omega. You can buy that at hellgrammitesmusic.com. Go check out the video they put out for the song Escargot, which is available now. For fans of Every Time I Die, Dillinger Escape Plan, or any of the Patent projects. We talked about them writing the album. We talked about how they met. For those of you that don't know, their drummer Bill and I used to be in a band together called Dissever. They shared some stories. We talked about psychedelics. We talked about mental health. We talked about the Insane Clown Posse. It was a good time. I hope you guys enjoy it. Please make sure to follow them on social media at Hellgrammites Music on all the things. Click subscribe down there somewhere and hit the little bell button so you can get notifications when we have new videos. And check out our Patreon page. Go to patreon.com/RRBG and support the podcast. Cheers. What's up, everyone? Welcome to the RRBG podcast. I am here with my buddy Bill, Troy, Lehi, and Eric, the Hellgrammites. Did I say that wrong? Lehi?
Lehigh. It's Lehigh. It's cool, man.
Lehigh.
That's how I said it at first, too.
Yeah.
Lehigh.
Yeah.
Sorry, my bad.
No worries.
There should be 2 E's there.
There should be.
So you guys are a nude cabaret band, is this correct?
That's right. Yeah, picture us naked.
Picture you naked.
Depends on which one, too.
We have tassels on still.
Ooh. How you guys doing? How are things in Denver? Is it still cold over there?
Not today.
It was nice.
Spring.
Today,
It's all over the
it's
place.
cooling off now that it's getting to be evening. But yeah, it was super sunny today.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Well, you guys are getting ready to drop an album called I Am Omega. Is this your first debut album with Bill in the band?
Our first debut album, period. We've only put out like singles and EPs before, some 7-inch split, stuff like that. But this is the first one for the band, and since Bill has joined the band for sure.
Cool. Well, for those that are watching and listening, I would let everybody know Bill there with the glasses with the bald head used to play drums in a band called Dissever, where I sang for a while. Mm-hmm. And then he betrayed my trust and left to Denver. And now he's cheating on me with you guys.
That's an interesting take.
I'm just
I
kidding.
think you moved first.
I did move first. Actually, Rue moved first. It's all his fault.
Rue moved, you moved, I moved. Brian is still in Miami.
Brian is still in Miami. So tell me how you guys met. How did you stumble across Mr. Bill here? And I'm sorry that you did.
Shady Craigslist.
Yep.
What?
Craigslist or was it
drummer.
Facebook?
It was Craigslist initially.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Because we were running ads in both Craigslist and Facebook. So.
Oh boy, I have had nothing but terrible things from Craigslist.
It was dicey.
Well, it still continues. So
We had one drummer. One drummer came in and just like played one little note, tried to start playing a beat, and just kind of stopped. Got up and was like sorry, and just left.
it was really weird.
So we did get some really weird interactions from Craigslist and Facebook and stuff. So when Bill came in, it was pretty over after that.
I don't feel like it took too long, though.
No,
No, we were
Thank
really
God.
lucky. It's like unheard of. When I tell people we found him on the internet, they're like, "What?"
Seriously, man, I've not gotten a single. I mean, I got a job from Craigslist once, and it was a nightmare. And then I got roommates. When I moved back from North Carolina back to Miami, I got some roommates from Craigslist, and it was the worst. They were up at 4 a.m, breaking things, and it was, again, a nightmare. So I'm really glad you guys worked this out, and were able to come up with something good out of this.
Yeah, I had a Craigslist roommate that would shit and eat Snickers bars at the same time. That's not a joke, and that was his thing. It was like, that was it.
In the toilet at least.
No, like he'd be on the shitter, and he'd be smoking too, Newports or whatever. And he'd just, like, eat a
Jesus.
Snickers, take a shit, smoke Newports.
Everybody has their shit task.
I don't know, man. That's wild.
The Newport made it like minty.
It takes an extra special person to smoke cigarettes while shitting.
It's a Craigslist roomie. That's what that is.
And Snicker.
Didn't he have like a Hatchet Man tattoo?
No, that was the other one that lived in that same
ICP?
house, though. He had just got out of jail, and he.
Of course, he just got out of jail
Yep.
with a Hatchet Man tattoo.
He picked up roadkill for a living.
Bill, do you have a Hatchet Man tattoo?
No, I do not. But I was a juggler for a little while.
Yeah, I know you identified as a juggalo at one point.
Recovering
I'm a
juggalo.
recovering juggalo. I was into the.
Juggle addicts.
I had a couple jokers.
He
What
had
they
all
call
the
jokers
Joker cards.
Yeah. I painted my face. Went to a juggalo event.
The gathering?
Gathering?
Did you go to a gathering?
No.
Oh, shit.
This is
Gathering?
before the gathering was a thing. This is Great Malenko, the 4th record.
Yeah, I had that record.
Oh, all right. You see, I wasn't the only one.
Yeah, dude.
Oh,
And,
shit.
the one after that is when I stopped listening.
Yeah, so our new record definitely has a lot of ICP influence in it, obviously.
A lot of hip hop and rap
A lot of that.
pro wrestling,
Yeah, it's
Fago.
cool again,
Yeah,
right?
especially the pro wrestling.
All the lyrics are about questioning why mirrors work. So,
Oh, magnets.
oh, sorry, it was magnets.
Yeah, smack.
Yeah, magnets.
God damn it.
Lehigh, do you have an effect on your vocals?
Maybe.
It sounds a little effecty, but it's fine.
We might be
Kinda
getting phase.
It adds to the effects of the podcast. But so I'm going to read this out since you sent me this over. From conquest to inevitable and unavailable collapse, the stories and dark paths of humans seem to repeat themselves throughout history. In an honest perspective, Hellgrammites share their opinions and experiences of the modern reality through the music and lyrics of I Am Omega. So, what?
Derek?
What were you saying about ICP?
Yeah. I mean, that's what I think about when I think of ICP. I
Right.
think about all that.
Totally. Yeah, so a lot of the music, I wrote all the lyrics, and they're basically observations of humanity, and also sharing my personal struggles with giving up alcohol. I'm now 3.5 years sober. So that's a lot of theme throughout the lyrics on the whole record. But I touch on things like Badge Fist, for example, talking about the negative effects of the slave trade and things like that on the world and its impact today. So that's kind of something, I guess, that kind of references that blurb, I guess, because I wrote that blurb.
Okay.
So, yeah,
I mean, that's some pretty deep thought for, ICP inspired music, but
yeah.
Clearly.
But no. So tell me what drove you to that inspiration to give up alcohol? I mean, everybody has their reasons, and if you're willing to talk about it, I'd like to hear it.
Sure. It definitely brought out a very ugly side out of me. And I have a lot of great memories of, sharing drinks and stuff with my comrades, my bandmates, family members, things like that. But, it got to the point where I was drinking every single day, crushing at least a 6-pack of beer every single night. And, on the weekends, overindulging and getting to the point where I'd black out and fucking get violent and do crazy shit. So, yeah,
well,
man.
That's a good reason to stop.
Yeah, definitely. So, and I got arrested at my bachelor party. So,
ooh. Well, yeah. I mean, that sounds like a good bachelor party, but
I waited
it was a really good bachelor party.
There's video footage. But yeah, just obviously I was making really poor choices and doing things that I wouldn't normally do, and was bringing a really ugly side out of myself. So I decided it was the best thing for me and just my family and my band. Just everything in my life is a million times better since I gave that up. Still hard though. It's like I'm in a lot of settings where I want to drink, and I used to do it every day, and associating things like just having beers at practice is like, it's hard. It's hard sitting there and being in there and not being able to just function like as a normal person because I can't fucking control myself when I drink,
Yeah. Did you replace the vice with anything? Like, because what I've noticed is a lot of people when they quit drinking, because the drinks have so much sugar, they end up eating a lot more sweets or jumping into soda or something like that.
I mean, during the pandemic, when I first was put on like furlough at my job, I was eating a lot of junk food, but I mean, I've always smoked a lot of weed. If anything, my weed intake went up a bit, but yeah, that's obviously super mellow and not in the same ballpark as alcohol at all, in my opinion. So
sure. I mean, well, it depends what type of weed you're smoking. Out here in California, sometimes, I swear, I have out-of-body experiences or extreme panic attacks. It depends on how much weed you smoke or what strain, I guess,
Yeah, we're doing dabs, man.
Oh, God. I can't do it.
Yeah.
I can't do it.
Fucking, you can't even function.
No, I don't know how people
start crying.
Wake and dab. I just don't understand.
It doesn't rhyme.
Wake and dab? Yeah, it doesn't work. Make one that rhymes.
Dab and dash? Almost. That's an alliteration. That doesn't rhyme. Sorry.
So I heard a couple tracks. Escargot.
Hey, that's our first single. We're dropping the video for that Tuesday.
Okay. That was a shorter one, right? It was like 2 minutes, something like that?
Less than that, yeah.
Yeah, 1:47, yeah.
1:47. Really intense time signature, like obviously I expect that from Bill, and knowing, knowing from the songs I've heard from you guys in the past too, before, Bill joined the band, but I think it's a good fit overall just because it plays with a lot of experimental time signatures. So tell me a little bit about that, and how is it that you guys get together to write these songs and make it make sense?
Yeah, I'll talk about that real quick. Because Eric says he does the lyrics. I do a lot of the music stuff initially, and then we all do it together. And Troy does like all our video work and stuff like that too. And then Bill's Bill. So we all kind of have our roles. But even with that song Escargot specifically, like I demoed out just the basic ideas of it, and it was originally like a jazz song I was playing on an acoustic guitar, and it almost had a swing to it, and it was kind of like gypsy jazz, and I was trying to like female vocals over it, kind of have that feel. So then it had this kind of weird constant quarter note thing going on through it. So then I decided to try and convert it to like a heavier song to work with Hellgrammites. And it's interesting because if you keep just the BPM going on through it, it actually has this consistent quarter note groove no matter how it changes. And if you can hear what Bill's playing with that click in his ear and where it goes and how it gets wonky at times, it's just a fun little like tongue-in-cheek punk rock song because it's like jazz influences. There's a definite head nod, but it comes from an explicit like
it's got that
music
circle
style.
pit feel too.
And then that circle pit feel. So it's deceptively difficult, but simple enough and short and sweet. And then, you know, a gross name like escargot. Like people, you think of like slimy snails or whatever. So that's what I did. And then I brought it to everyone and we kind of made it our own. And Eric wrote lyrics around that. And that was that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got really strong, you know, Patton vibes from just like you know, Bungle or Faith No More and kind of vibes, which, you know, again, I expect from Bill.
Right.
Yeah, we get that comparison quite a bit.
Yeah.
I think the and the intro came about because initially it just started off right away. Da-na-na-na-na-na-na.
Yep.
And then I remember we were working on the ending, and I was like, what if we have an intro or like we chop up that time signature, because of course that's something I feel like I got to do. And then we like shifted what happens at the end of the song, and that's how it intros. It's the same chord progression, but a totally different feel.
Definitely. And then Cody McAndrew did the synth solo over it. He's out of Charlotte, North Carolina. He's just a musical genius. He came in, sat down, and just shit out the coolest lead you could put over that part. Yeah, that's right.
Really cool. And I also heard the other Lacquer Jacket. I can't.
Lacquer Jacked.
Lacquer Jacked. Jesus, I'm blind. Lacquer Jacked. So that one's a little more straightforward, less, you know.
Yep.
But I feel like I've heard that song before. I mean, have you guys teased it, or maybe I heard it when you guys did the live stream?
That's exactly it.
Yeah.
A lot of these songs we put out on the live stream for sure. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. So
Troy shot and produced, and all the puppet stuff that was involved with that. That was all Troy Boy that did all that for sure.
Oh, well, tell me more about that. Not the song, but that production that you put together with the puppets. Like, how did that come to mind, and what background do you have in that for, you know, getting puppets involved?
Yeah, well, it was actually his idea. He approached me one day. This was like mid-pandemic, or I guess towards the end when like the thought of shows was starting to arise. And he approached the idea because he had this fantasy of using puppets. I think that's been a thing of his for quite some time.
I'm into puppets.
It's cool.
ICP
Weird
puppets.
We'll open that up later.
Wicked clown puppets.
So the idea was to like rent out a venue because, you know, venues were struggling to stay open. So the idea was we kind of kill two birds with one stone. We're able to replenish money back to, you know, using the venues towards a live video production, which we could stream as a live show for people that couldn't leave their house. And unfortunately, I feel like we kind of caught it at the tail end when shows were starting to happen again. So it didn't hit as hard. We're a little slow to the draw on that, but I think it's still a cool concept. We use the puppets to kind of be these like side elements that were happening during the show. Mm-hmm. So there'd be like a scene at the bar or inside the pisser. And it's kind of like segments in between, you know, there'd be a couple songs and then it would cut away to this. And we did it with another band that actually opened the show. So it was kind of a cool hour-long little live presentation. Now,
did you go to school for that kind of stuff or just kind of winging it? Okay.
Yeah, I'm a freelancer by trade. I gaff and I'm a cinematographer.
Nice. Yep. Yeah, I mean, it was a great live stream. I mean, I'm kind of bummed that things are kind of... Okay, let me rephrase that. I'm not bummed that things are going back to normal and that there are live shows. Yeah. But I wish that we could have kept going with having both elements. Like, why not both? You know,
yeah, because once the live shows came back, bands kind of gave up their footing on doing that digital and went back to, okay, let's play live again.
Yeah.
So
I think it's the wave of the future still, man. I still stand by it that every band, if they're doing it right, should be streaming live, streaming rehearsals, going live whenever you can, and using video and that potential to be able to play live music in front of the world, anyone who wants to tune in, is huge. So I agree with you, man. I'm bummed that it kind of, everyone's now just trying to get back to the old, get on the road and play as many shows as you can, and it's wild.
Well, I mean, I think there's room there to kind of do live streams while you're on the road. I mean, there's so much potential to create more content for your fans. I mean, I hate saying content creation in the same sentence.
It's a word in our it exists, right? Like, we have to deal with it.
I think the challenge is bands that are on the road, it's hard to make the production value good enough to release it as like something that they're proud of, maybe. I don't know.
Just have Hate 56 travel with you the whole time.
Yeah, it's done. Because it takes a lot to do the live stream thing and make it sound good and make it to where you're like, all right, we sound good enough to actually go live.
That is a good point, because the first live stream we did at the beginning of the pandemic was a lot more DIY, in that we didn't have a lot more crew with us. It was at a DIY venue where we just depended on the audio engineer to mix for us while we went live on like Facebook or something like that. So there's a lot to it, and there's a learning curve. So I understand the path of least resistance is sometimes where musicians go, and that's what's happening right now. But it still does have potential to really change how people consume live music.
Sure, yeah, absolutely. And Bill, I saw videos of you singing while playing drums now, which is something you always brought up while we were practicing that you wanted to do and try. So
Yep.
how are you doing with that? What are you doing to kind of get better at it? Because I know it's got to be hard to think about singing while also thinking about all your individual limbs.
The fifth limb is the vocal cords.
I thought it was the dick, but I just regret I didn't do it sooner. A lot of it was just stage fright. It's weird. I could be behind the drum set and not care about who's watching, who's listening, and actually the opposite. I want everybody to listen and watch. But the moment I'd open my voice, I'm like, no, I'm done. So I was in a cover band when I first moved out here, and they needed backup and I needed money. So I was like, that like kind of pushed me. And then since then, I haven't cared. And now I just like doing it.
Nice.
Some of the trickier parts, I just got to rehearse it way more than I would just the drumming part. So I like rehearse it half. Some of it I have to rehearse like at half speed to figure it out first. Like, because I'm not writing it, Eric's writing it, and then I have to figure out how can I even do this part? So I'll slow it down and try to figure it out.
Now, when you're doing the screaming, since Eric's writing it, I mean, are you trying to go for a similar sound as his, or like are you trying to like make your own voice so that it sounds unique, or are you just what are you trying to do there?
I feel like it's a mix, because on the record, it's the blend is mainly Eric. You can hear there's a couple guest spots and things like that, but I mean, I love like Greg from Dillinger is probably my favorite screamer, so I probably always pivot to that sound. Like unintentionally or intentionally, I don't know. But there's other times that I try to just kind of emulate Eric. So
I see. Now, when you guys are writing music, I'm always curious. Since back when we were writing music, the only educated person was Bill. He was the only one that knew how to write music, and the rest of us were just like, yeah, that part, just do that part. Is that how you guys are writing, or are you all educated?
I think that's still effective. Like, that part I'm talking about, like right before the chorus goes, yeah, we know that. But no, you guys are like educated individuals.
We're all self-taught except Bill.
Okay.
Right, but I think we all hold our own, I guess, and we learned the common language we have to speak to be able to communicate what we mean musically. So
I mean,
that's better than some musicians can say that have been, so classically trained or whatever.
I think Anthony and Brian were like rare breeds where they would just not learn any theory and they would just do it. Whereas these guys do know theory. They They understand chords. Like, I don't think Anthony still knows what chords are, but it doesn't matter. His ear's amazing, so he doesn't need to know the lingo. But I just think, knowing the lingo helps. Sure.
Now, Eric, for your lyrics, I want to go back and dive a little bit into that. I mean, I Am Omega, and you mentioned all the struggles that humanity is going to. I know Bill and I both deal with a lot of psychedelic themes and have had our own, explorations internally. Is that something that you play around with? I mean, how do you deal with mental health? I mean, because aside from, your struggles with drinking and moving past that, there's a lot of shit going on, and your music kind of expresses that in this, it's kind of spastic, crazy sounding. It's not your standard music. You're not gonna hear it on, pop radio anytime soon.
Damn it, dude.
Yeah, sorry to break your hearts, but
on the podcast. I don't know. I definitely, the music is huge release for me in being able to, I guess, cope with mental health and things like that. The pandemic was really tough, I think, on everybody's mental health, and I think it strengthened me as a musician, and I, was able to write a lot of music and get a lot of gear and learn a lot of stuff about music. And I also build guitar pedals too, so that's another release for me. It's something that I do by myself, and it kind of helps me kind of be in my own space and do something that I really enjoy, that is not only used for, us to play music and create music, but also tons of musicians all over the world, really, because I've sold pedals all over the place. So
very cool.
Yeah, man.
Okay, what's the plan then in terms of touring for this new album? Well, first of all, when does the album drop? I don't know if I have a release date.
It's June 19th.
19th.
That's the 19th. Show. Isn't the album the 14th?
That Tuesday, the 14th, yeah.
Oh, that's right. Damn it.
So it drops June 14th, but we're having the album release show the 18th.
We just last month shot a music video for Escargot, and we wanted to have some. Now I do hear that phasing on my microphone. That is weird. We just shot a video for it, and it's not quite done. We wanted to send you a copy so you could check it out. But that drops next Tuesday, 4/19. And then Lacquerjacked will be released next month, and then the full record, June 14th. And then we hit the road for 3 weeks to try and sell some records and get people to give a shit about the record.
Yeah, we're doing a Midwest tour, so kind of swinging up through the Midwest.
Okay. No West Coast states? Like, are you coming to LA? What's up?
Not this round. So there's quadrants. We're doing like quadrant 2. Quadrant 4 will be maybe next year or something.
Okay. Well, if you need help, I got some connections out here.
Where are you at? You're in La La Land down there?
I am in La La Land, Hollywood.
Getting crazy with it? That's cool, man.
Yeah. All the drugs and hookers and, whatever Hollywood.
Are mushrooms as big down there as they are up here? Everyone in Denver just eats mushrooms all the time now. It's great.
Yeah, there's a term called California sober.
Does that mean what? Just mushrooms and weed or what?
Yeah, just mushrooms and weed. No drinking, just California sober.
All right,
I just did a mushroom commercial 2 days ago, actually.
Kind of
really?
right
Yeah,
there.
it's a mushroom milk alternative. It's actually a really cool concept.
There you go.
Is it psychedelic mushroom?
No, and it's a 7-year-old African American woman that is a spokesperson. So she's like, I don't know, just sells it really well. And the fact that not everybody's doing psychedelics, but there is the healthy alternative of mushrooms.
I'll try that.
They have like gummies
it's a
too.
plant-based.
Yeah, and then you got the mud water, which is like the coffee.
Whatever, dude.
Oh, that shit tastes awful, guys.
It's called mud water.
Yeah.
Expectations would be kind of low.
Trying to trip my balls off, dude.
Yeah, what am I doing here? Yeah.
I think YouTube keeps trying to sell that shit in their ads.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I tried some of those mushroom coffee alternatives, and it just none of them taste good. They also put too much like coconut oil, so it tastes like hair. Like it's weird.
It's fucking almond.
Why do we
joy
know what hair tastes like?
and hair?
All of us have eaten some hair. Come on.
You said coconut oil, right? Check it off.
A strand or like
It's like scalp, like scalp flavor.
Some fucking dander.
Yeah, some dander. But mushrooms out here are a thing. I mean, there's gummy mushrooms. This company right here sends me some sometimes. Microdose regimens.
Cool.
But it's eventually going to become legal here, like it has. I think Denver. Did Denver do the medicinal?
Denver County decriminalized.
That's next is dispensaries, but it'll be a while.
I don't know if I think as long as they control it properly, because experienced folks like us will be fine. But there's a lot of people out there that are just going to like eat a whole can of microdose gummies and then die.
Won't see them again.
They'll move to Hawaii like some
gonna
people
have a complete ego death and
Someone was telling me the other day that their teacher and that Jared, our brother, he used to be in Hellgrammites actually.
Oh.
He said one of his students, he's a teacher now, ate 110-gram cookie, like the whole thing, not knowing
THC?
not knowing it was 110 grams. So it's already happening now, where like these dumbass eighth graders are like eating.
Well,
way
that
too
actually
much.
happened to Jared
She
too.
said at school, like her skin turned green like a gecko, and she was just like vomiting everywhere.
At school? Oh my God.
Yeah, that's terrible.
man.
And so anyway, it happens. It's happening.
Yeah. I'm worried about it with mushrooms, like weed. If you eat a lot of THC, you could have an out of body experience. I did. I mean, one of the last times Bill and I hung out, I went to Denver to see Opeth and Gojira at the Red Rocks, and I had like almost 100 and something. Like 175 milligrams. I was just floating around the venue. I wasn't even paying attention.
Man, that was such a good show.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Such a good show.
Yeah, well, hope for the best, plan for the worst.
Of course.
Jira's going to be here with Deftones coming up here.
I heard that their bassist just quit.
Yeah.
More as a contract dispute, but
Yeah, they announced the new guy is from
Manson, right?
Manson's group, Fred Sablin, I think it is.
Really?
Yeah, they had Tyler Bates for a bit, but he kind of backed out, and then since he has connections with Manson, he brought in Sablin. But it's kind of a weird thing, but at this point, the Deftones are a machine. They've got beers, they've got like 9 beers with Belching Beaver, they've got weed box that they were selling. They're becoming that kind of like that Slipknot thing where it's a machine. Yep. The band members if it's not Chi, I don't think it matters to them anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
Who the
Like
bass
he's
player
fucking
is.
dead, so nobody's gonna replace that dude.
Yeah, exactly. So tell me, what would be a fantasy package for you guys to go on tour with if you wanted to like put something together, like three bands that you guys could go on tour with?
Yeah, obligatory E-Tid, right?
Yeah,
E-Tid got back together and toured with us.
Do they have to be? Yeah, do they have to be the band still?
Let's do that because
let's go. They're
E-Tid just
active.
makes me sad. Yeah, E-Tid just makes me sad.
Okay.
What a sad
let's not
breakup.
talk about E-Tid.
Maybe I'll throw Glassjaw out there then to try and lighten the mood.
Yes, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
I've really been obsessed with the band Nails lately. I would love to play with them.
Yeah, Eddie, we got to see them. They were fucking sick.
So good.
Yeah. So Nails, who else? Glassjaw, and what was the other one?
I got 4 at least. Like if I was a 4-band like of my own.
Are we doing a festival or?
These Aren't the Snakes are touring again. That would be top.
That would be cool.
Callous Cowboys. Fuck.
That would be dope.
Yeah.
And be on the
those
coast
guys.
if you do a little post-hardcore. That would be sick.
And be on the coast would be fun.
I really like the band Drain. Oh man, that'd be fun to play with too.
Drain STH with the ladies?
No.
No, just Drain. They're from
Drain.
California. They're a
SoCal,
hardcore
yeah.
band.
Okay.
Dope.
That's cool. Let me think. If you were to have a guest on your album, one guest, who is it?
So we did a different guest on every song on this album, and they were all friends of ours. So a lot of them are from the Denver area. So we definitely do believe in doing that. So if there was one, so the next album we do one.
But a celebrity guest or what?
Yeah, celebrity guests.
want.
You only have enough money for one celebrity guest.
Honestly, I would probably say like Kendrick Lamar, maybe, or something like that. Seriously,
Just really
'cause,
send it.
Oh, that'd be
dude,
great.
he's just work with him on the arrangement of it and
Danny
help
Brown.
him produce the song with us. And I think it would be something insane.
I didn't see that, but you're totally right.
Yeah, that's a very odd choice. I mean, I don't know how he would feel about working on that kind of music. I
hate it.
don't know.
He would hate it for sure. Well, maybe.
He'd hate me, actually. I know that for a fact.
Oh, I got to throw out one more band, Soul Glow. I would love to fucking
I never
have a
heard
show
of
with them.
Okay, I don't think I've heard that. I mean, when I hear Soul Glow, I think
Yeah, I know.
Just
Probably
like
in America.
your
I'm sure that's where they
Glow. What was that? Oh man, I'm blanking on his name. What was it? Reggie Jackson?
Preacher, or he wasn't a preacher.
Reggie Watson,
Reggie Watson.
sexual chocolate.
Did you guys know that Billy wanted me to sing the Coming to America?
Yeah, the Sarah. Yeah, absolutely.
That's cool.
Why
I
didn't
learned
he?
it, but
on,
I
Eddie,
just
go
couldn't. I
ahead.
couldn't. No, I
Give us a
couldn't. I don't
couple.
even.
Give us the first bar.
I don't even remember it. What was it? She's my queen to be. Oh man, I can't hit those notes anymore. My voice has gotten lower and lower. The more podcasting I do, and the more weed I smoke, my register keeps dropping.
Right.
Oh man. Okay, so you guys, I mean, Bill's got some other projects as well. Do you guys have other side projects you play with as well?
Yes.
Well, starting from left to right, go.
Okay. I played another band called Glass Human, fronted by Emily Shreve. She's just an animal. I play in a band called Valdez with Nate Valdez of a band called In the Whale. And I play in a band called Astral Planes, which is like a pop punk outfit. And then I have a band called My Blue Heart with my fiance.
What?
You are a whore.
And playing Hellgrammites. I like puppets. I got 4 kids. It's crazy.
You have 4 kids?
Yeah, dude.
How old are you?
35, 36.
What? What are you doing?
They call me LL Lehigh. Ladies love Lehigh. What are you doing? What are you doing?
Oh my God. How do you have 4 kids and like 7 bands? How do you have time for all of that?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know.
It's all the meth,
Yeah, I
all
smoke
the
a lot of
meth.
meth.
and it's the ICP too.
Yeah. It's just my Lord and Savior
Don't they go hand in
ICP.
hand?
We all have kids though. We're all parents.
A bunch of old farts making babies. My goodness.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Well, Eric, how about you? Do you have other projects that you're in?
Nothing serious. I do a weekly jam with my dad. We hang out, play songs that we've written together.
But you're balls deep as one of the, he has a reputation, especially in Denver, as a, great guitar pedal tone master.
Yeah, I build the pedals, and I have 2 shops in town that carry, pedals that I built. But yeah, and I do a lot of cameos and stuff. Like if people ask me to record vocals on a track, I'll do that, or stuff like that. But nothing necessarily that I'm like writing seriously or doing aside from Hellgrammites. When I play music by myself, I tend to like make a bunch of loops and kind of just space out and not really make anything or produce anything tangible, but still have a lot of fun doing it. So.
Okay. I mean, so why the choice to go to vocals as opposed to just being a guitar player, since you like pedals and effects so much?
I play guitar too. And I've written some of the riffs in some of our earlier material, and actually some of the material from this record, I've written some of the guitar work from as well. But as far as singing and playing, the dynamic is not the same, and the energy isn't the same as having nothing in my hands and being able to get in people's faces and be the front man at as they say or whatever. But I also do sing through a bunch of effects and stuff. So I like loop parts and manipulate stuff on the fly. So I still use guitar effect pedals. Like I have a pedal board for my vocals.
Bigger than the guitar. It's like an L shape, right?
Yeah, a lot of time when people like when we're sound checking, the sound guy a lot of time is like, "Where's the other guitar?" And I'm like, "There isn't one. It's my vocals."
It's inside me.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I do a lot of stuff with looping and just adding different reverbs and layers onto the vocals on the fly, delay. Stuff like that, but being able to control it myself, at my feet and, have it be on time and everything, like the delay trails, stuff like that. They're on like tap tempos, so I can stay locked in with the music and everything. So
that's, I used to try and do that. Bill can attest. I used to bring out a pedal board as well, but it is such a nightmare to set up all of that. And I just gave up at some point. Dude, like, no, whatever. Plug me in. I'm good.
It's insane.
Yeah, my board has evolved a lot. And I mean, the one thing that I feel like that I run into sometimes, which is frustrating, is, sometimes gear issues happen. Especially in shows, it feels like that's when it always happens, is like when you're on stage. So trying to troubleshoot that kind of stuff like really quickly while on stage is something that I've kind of tried to get better at, I guess.
And I will say, like, that live video that we did, all of the pedal work and effects that you hear in the vocals, that's all just taken straight from the board, from Eric's vocals that he does live. He hands an XLR, we plugged it in, and then that's it. Like, cleaned it up EQ-wise and shit, and that's it, though. So it's like, he has it dialed in. I mean, it's coming in. It's a beautiful signal. It's the right dBs. His effects, his gain staging is on point, and it takes a lot of work, and a lot of, like, know-how and figuring out and trial and error, but it's really impressive as part of our live show to see him just doing his thing on that board, and it sounds amazing. It sounds clean, crisp. Mwah! It's beautiful.
Mad scientist shit.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's like another instrument on top of
for sure
my vocals. It's like sonic. I like to call it sonic manipulation, because I'm creating like loops and stuff and textures and like just adding it to what they're doing, but not necessarily playing an instrument other than my voice.
I feel like you've been doing it forever too. Like even in Broken Silhouette, I remember seeing you. That was like dabbling. Obviously, you weren't to the point of making your own, but
damn, that was like
I've always
pre 9/11. That's crazy.
Some sort of looping.
I've always been into doing shit with effects. I love pedals. I have fucking literally hundreds of pedals, and I've built hundreds and hundreds of pedals. So, I love that shit.
Well, before we move on to Bill and Troy on the other projects, I wanted to ask you, Eric. You've played some shows post-pandemic. With the style of music you're doing and the style of your live show, like, have you found any trepidation or panic when jumping into the crowd now? Does it feel different to you?
No. I feel like things have, at least here, very much started to feel a lot more normal recently, and being at shows, and a lot of the restrictions have been lifted and stuff. So I am very healthy. I'm vaccinated ×3, and I'm very high immunity. So even if I do get sick, I don't feel like I'm putting myself or my family at risk necessarily. But I mean, we have to build up immunities naturally and be around people. I do feel that way. Naturally we have to get sick from each other for our bodies to fight viruses and stuff like that. So I don't feel like living in fear of that is going to benefit me. And I don't know.
I think the scene agrees. We played a show, our last show, the most recent one. People were moshing, dancing, taking their shirts off, getting sweaty with it. I think it's, I think everyone, anyone that's going to come to our show, we're coming to fucking thrash. So it's like,
Yeah, and
if you want to sit in the back, that's cool. But
Yeah, and if it's still concerning, you can wear the N95s.
yeah, and it's nice because we played during the pandemic and people were wearing masks and they had to sit down and it was fucking weird.
It felt
You know?
terrible. Yeah, it felt weird. Like now it feels so good because like Lehigh said, people were moshing, and I like to get in the pit if I can. Like I like to get in that shit. So if anything, it gets me excited. Like I'm ready to let's do this.
Yeah. I'm starting to get to that point. I'm starting to feel normal again too. But just, like the first show I went to post pandemic was Between the Buried and Me, and I just remember walking up to the front of the stage, and I had enough room around me to where I was comfortable, and then people started moshing, and I just like, nah, I'm not ready, and I just ran away. But now when I'm there, I'm still not moshing because I'm 40 and everything hurts. But but I definitely don't feel that like fear of like, oh, somebody's sweating near me, like get away,
Yeah, and I mean, we played a show in Greeley, which is about an hour from Denver. And a couple of us got COVID up there.
You and I.
It was a super spreader event.
Yeah, we went up there and got COVID.
Michelle got COVID. Yeah, it was.
Everyone got COVID.
But we knew the risk. You know what I mean? That's
Yeah,
the
we
thing
knew
is,
the
if you're
risk.
going to live shows, you got to know the risk and
for sure.
go on with your life.
I'm a ninja, man. I'm still not
Insane. It's insane.
Yeah, so I mean, I got sick for a week, and it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, I think I haven't gotten sick since it started. I think I caught it before it started at NAMM around January.
I was out. You went to NAMM.
I'll believe it.
Yeah, I used to go every year, but like that year, I went and I was out for 2 weeks in bed, no sense of taste or smell, couldn't sleep, couldn't breathe, couldn't, just constant coughing. So I'm like, that's got to be it.
You sure it wasn't just the Morrow Boys?
It might have been, we were sharing a flask, so that was my thing too. Like I would go to NAMM with a flask, and I would just give people shots. So super spreader.
Yeah,
Right?
The alcohol's killing the virus.
Yeah, we're good.
Science.
And the whole bottom floor of NAMM is in a nut to, I'm not trying to call it anything, but it's the whole bottom floor is all imported pedals from Asia. So, you've got Chinese companies bringing in guitar pedals and electronics, and everybody's flying in from other countries. It was like the super spreader event.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. NAMM 2019 or whatever. You just had to be there. 2020.
All right. So back to the question, or not the question, but what we were saying, Bill, you've got Chew Through
Yep.
that I've heard. What else do you got going on?
That's it. Chew through.
That's it.
And
I'm hurt. Yeah. That hurt my heart that you didn't say to sever, but that's fine.
Oh, wow.
Well, on that reunion.
Don't you need?
No,
you got to finish up those vocal tracks.
Yeah, we're definitely inactive at this point. But who knows? Maybe Furnace Fest will pay us a hefty sum one day to get back together.
Oh yeah, that'd be awesome.
Some barely famous band from Miami.
Yeah, totally. Maybe he heard the guy who runs it. Maybe he knows who we are. It's Alabama. It's close enough to Florida. You never know.
Oh yeah.
Troy, how about you? Do you have other projects?
I do. It's super new. We're talking like a month and a half, 2 months maybe, but we're to the point that we've gotten together enough. It was actually Jeff, the guy who directed our most recent music video, him and the gaffer of that shoot, Zach, he plays drums, and we just got together on a whim to jam, and actually have written 2 tracks now at this point, and just kind of grown from there. We don't know where it's going to go, but it's grooving, and it's very different. Jeff has a band called Lion Tortoise, which is like a very prog metal band. Okay. So it's a mix of that and like funk. So
Funk?
What do y'all call? Do you have a name yet?
No, we're not to that point.
Yeah, I have some suggestions.
Okay.
I'm just joking.
Throw one out there. Improv one right now.
I would say Jizz Breaker.
Ooh.
Is that a Jawbreaker?
Ooh.
I still pictured the hard candy.
Yeah, exactly. But with jizz coming out of it.
Right in the center.
Now, so do you have, Troy, as gaffer and working in film and production and everything, is that something you want to continue to pursue? Do you want music to take over and just you get away from that? Or is it still a passion of yours to kind of work in that?
Well, music is actually what got me into film. So it's always been a first. and you know, who knows where this tour will take us. We have high hopes. I mean, we're all in our 30s having kids, and you know what I mean. I feel like the fact that a core of us is family is the reason why the band's lasted as long as it has. And yeah, so I feel like if music would take off, I would definitely put film on the back burner, because it's the same thing as music. You can always revisit it at any time. You know what I mean? I've made connections and stuff that people do that a lot. Music and film are very connected, so that kind of dance is very common.
All right. Well, I mean, it's got to be tough, you know, especially, you know, you're trying to keep food on the table and music doesn't really pay the bills. Like, even people that are at a mid-level, like, still don't make enough money. You know, you look at bands like Every Time I Die where they were still touring in a van. Like, that's pretty wild, you know?
Yeah. That's very true. You have to be crafty. And you know, we talk about this all the time. And Troy touched on, I don't know if you knew this, but we hadn't mentioned it in this, but we are all related except Bill. So we were all family. Troy and I are brothers, and then our other brother was the original drummer, and Eric's our cousin.
Oh.
So we've been playing together for a real long time.
How far back? I mean, when did you guys start playing with instruments as a group, like, you know, as a family?
Probably when we turned it like around our teenage years. You know, all of us were varying ages of 13-ish or something like that.
I think I started actually playing guitar when I was 15.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so somewhere around that time, we all started playing together, and yeah, it's like we talk about it all the time. Where it's like if we didn't absolutely love creating music, original music, shit that's not going to be played on the radio, you know, you have to love it to even do the little bit that we do as a band. I feel like so. It's hard, you know. It's always hard to find real world funding for any sort of artistic endeavor. You know what I mean? And that's always the challenge. Private funding, public funding, raising money for a tour, earning it through merch, creating content to increase engagement. It's just like an uncle effect. Jesus
TikToks,
Christ.
Bro. TikToks.
Yeah.
That's where you gotta go.
Quit your job, but first you have to have $50,000. You know what I mean? It's like all these totally unrealistic things.
I love that from people that are already successful, and they come at you with that, like, oh, well, you got to quit your job and just dedicate yourself 100% to it. It's like, yeah, and be homeless?
Yeah, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, I need to pay my bills.
Yeah, what business school did you go to? Like, what are you talking about?
All you need is your parents' upfront capital.
Some boomer shit. Oh, just fucking, you know, at my age, it wasn't that hard. Get out of here, dude. What are you talking about?
Well, you know, and for people that are watching and listening, you know, I know the story a bit, but I think it fits well, you know, the fact that you guys are family with Bill, because Bill was the same way. I mean, Bill, you know, people that you haven't said it, but you and Brian played music together since you were tiny as well.
Yep.
So you
they look alike.
Yeah, we look alike.
Look a lot alike.
Well, now they do, because
now
that Brian's shaved the head. But yeah, I mean, you've been playing music as well since tiny. So that should show, and it shows through the music when you hear it, the passion that you guys have, because like you were saying, like you have to love it. And that comes out in the music, because, you know, you're not writing these cookie cutter songs to try and make a buck. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Well, I think it's a great fit, man. I'm really happy for Bill. You know, I talk shit and make jokes and whatnot, but I feel listening to the music, I know the type of music Bill loves, and to hear you guys mesh together so well, it really does make me happy, and it fills my heart.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was cool. I remember that shady Craigslist, and like had the Spotify link. I was like, oh fuck yeah. I just started learning it then. I was like, yeah, I gotta fucking learn how to play this shit.
Yeah, and then I went and saw Chew Through the other night, and they fucking rule. You know?
They rule. They're awesome.
So good.
Yeah, for people that are listening, it's Chew Through is more straightforward, punky, hardcore, right?
Yeah, for sure. There's like maybe one song that's in 7/8, and the rest is straightforward.
Yeah. Well, Hellgrammites is definitely a little more for people that are into experimental, you know, Every Time I Die, Dillinger, you know, patent projects, all that. But yeah, guys, you know, we're almost at an hour, which is usually what I do. So that went by pretty quickly.
Right on.
Cool,
So
you're gonna have to pull stuff.
Yeah.
Man, I hope this doesn't get weird. He's gonna have like pull information out of us and stuff. And like
what are you wearing? underneath those pants. I'm just kidding.
No way.
Are you wearing sheath underwear? I can get you a promo code. No, I'm
I
just
have Pair of Thieves.
Oh man. So where do people go? What's the best place to go to listen to what you have already and keep an eye out for the new album I Am Omega when it comes out?
Website.
What website, bro? Jesus. Have you not?
Hellgrammitesmusic.com.
The World Wide Web, dude.
Yeah,
Go to the interwebs.
and it will send you to any other streaming platform because we have all the hyperlinks
Spotify,
and all
Instagram,
that.
Hellgrammitesmusic.com, right?
Hellgrammitesmusic.com.
All right. And on the socials, I mean, do you guys have a TikTok?
Yep.
We're on the
We
talk.
do. We're
You're on the talk?
dude.
I was joking.
We're pop locking on the talk.
Yeah, we all do twerk videos.
We do the Guess the Drummer TikToks.
Bill's the best twerker out of all of us.
I know. I've seen it.
We're on Instagram. We're on all that stuff. Not Snapchat anymore. We retired that.
Aw. Okay, so I'm old and I don't really keep up with it. So Snapchat, is that really, like, it's dying, right? Nobody uses that shit.
It's a thing.
It's a thing. We have one, but we don't ever use it.
It's more of a messaging service at this point. People use it to text and stuff. It's just
And dirty photos.
Yeah.
Usually when we have a flyer for a show, I'll go in there and post it in our story, and that's literally all we use it for.
Okay. And I know Twitter's on its way out, too. Everybody's wanting to boycott it because Elon Musk wants to
About
buy
time.
it's depressing when you go on Twitter. Everyone's
I
just
never even
pay
dabbled.
attention
more
to
toxic
me,
than
and-
Facebook.
Yeah, it's toxic and it's ugh.
it. Most of the internet is toxic. Almost all of it.
true.
Except for,
Next generation.
I think my favorite of the social media platforms would be Instagram because you get mainly a picture, and usually there's a caption, but you don't really have to read it if you don't want to. It's like you
Yeah,
just
most people
scroll on.
don't.
Yeah, it's just for the pictures, and I like that. It's cool.
So that's for your Instagram. That's what, at Hellgrammites Music as well?
Yep. Everything's either at Hellgrammites or at Hellgrammites Music. There's another Hellgrammites that's from the East Coast. Fuck them. Don't follow them.
There's also all the fly fishing
I'm just
bullshit.
They're really cool.
Yeah,
They're really
you can-
nice.
You're gonna find a lot of fly fishing if you just
You
look
can
up
get it
Hellgrammites.
down a very dark hole of fly fishing if you're not careful.
I think there's actually two other bands called Hellgrammites out there. One's a bluegrass band, and another one's a punk band. But neither of them are really doing anything relevant, I guess. So it's our band name.
Yeah.
But they've mistakenly
Come at
tagged
us.
us. Like their fans will mistakenly tag
We've
us
been
sometimes.
tagged in a few of their pages. The funniest is the bluegrass band because it's
I think the bait and tackle was the best tag we got though.
oh, that was great. Yeah, the bait and tackle because Hellgrammites are used for bass fishing and shit like that.
That's what I was going to ask. I'm like, what is it? 'Cause I'm not.
Our grandpa used to call us that when we were kids. You little fucking Hellgrammites, blah, 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 or grandma.
They look like fucking underwater millipedes, though. They're gnarly looking.
Yeah.
Okay. I think I've
you
seen
can
them.
Definitely
Fly fishing.
fever dream bugs.
Yeah,
Ugh.
yeah, they're
Alright.
gross, dude. You Google Hellgrammites, you'll see a bunch of gnarly pictures pop up.
But nothing about our band.
Working on that.
The trick
Page 3 on Google search.
the trick is put Hellgrammites band or Hellgrammites music, then
But
you'll
if you're
get
Yeah.
something.
We should start selling merch that's fishing related, like fly fishing rods. And
We just start
Yeah.
manufacturing our own lures.
we're talking about the machine later with Deftones, right? Yeah.
Yeah. That's the next step, guys. Don't worry. Fly fishing. Actually, play a show in the middle of a pond while you're fly fishing and performing.
Aren't all metalheads fly fishermen? Like, is that great?
Oh, shit. All right, guys. So for those that are watching and listening, follow Hellgrammites at Hellgrammite Music. Go to hellgramitemusic.com to listen to what they have now. And keep an eye out. When are the singles dropping? You said next week we got the Escargot.
On Tuesday.
The music video and the spot and on streaming services.
Yeah, all streaming services and the music video are dropping Tuesday for Escargots.
And then the album, June, what was the date?
14th.
June 14th for the album I Am Omega. Support the boys. You're putting it out on vinyl?
Yep.
You guys got signed, right? You're on a
Yeah,
label.
Sailor Records is putting the vinyl out with us, for us.
Oh, look at Troy wearing the Sailor Records shirt.
I had to do a little bit of
Rep
something.
hat.
You know what I mean? They do their part, we do our part.
Yeah, Steve's he's the best. So it's great. It's great.
Do they have their own pressing plant? Because I know there's a crazy delay with vinyl plants everywhere.
No,
No,
but they
we
have
have the Pirates Press.
Yeah, they have a great relationship with Pirates Press, and we're expecting them here pretty quick, and they made it happen.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, man, it's all coming together. So hopefully it'll all work out.
Hell
And
yeah.
we, with all the bad lead times, we were like really worried about getting him in time for the tour.
Mm-hmm.
And for our tentative release date, but we're going to have them in hand at the beginning of May. So pre-orders and all that are going to be announced here coming up soon. So
sweet, man. And then the tour, you said Midwest. When does that start?
June 23rd.
Yep.
Where does it start?
Here.
Yeah,
Denver?
we're playing Denver. Then we're hitting like some Colorado towns, and then heading to the Midwest. Yeah. Yep.
Cool. Well, keep an eye out on the socials for all the dates and all the cities, and make sure you come out and support.
Thank you.
Guys, thank you for coming on the show.
Nice to
Thanks
meet
for
you,
having
man.
us,
Yeah,
man.
it's
Nice
great.
to meet you.
Thank you, Edgy.
Nice to meet you guys. I'm hoping to meet you in person and watch you guys live at some point here at the West Coast. Or maybe I'll make a trip out there for the beginning of the tour. We'll see.
The Red Rock show. Yeah. Or that too. Yeah.
You guys going to play the Red Rocks?
Oh God, that's on the right. That's on the wish
List, right?
Yeah, but if there's another sick Red Rock show, come out.
Absolutely, guys. All right. Well, thank you so much. And cheers, everyone.
Cheers, man.
Party on.
Later.